These people right here have way too much power in your life and in my life. I've been meaning to do this video for a while, and I just really couldn't compile my thoughts really correctly, because either I was possibly hungover, tired, or just pissed off about something, whatever. But you see these people in front of you, including corporations, they don't want you to question anything. Now, this goes against many, many years of liberal progressive thought process and don't trust the government, go against your parents, big corporations hate you. But now, since the big corporations are the progressives, that sort of went out the window. Very few people right now actually don't like this. On the left side of the political spectrum, of course. People who are sane individuals. Now you get your marching orders from woke corporations like Coca-Cola, CNN, MSNBC, CBS, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Google, Alphabet. They basically run the narrative now. I guess that is what it is now. And there's people like me and others who are fighting back as best you can, or best I can, by questioning their motives. Well, we already know their motives is to push, dare I say, corporate fascism. That's what this is. It's fascism. That's what they're pushing. And I'm questioning it. But then again, you're going to say, well, no, they're not. They're private companies. They're private platforms. They can do what they want. Yes, they can. But once they start pushing fascism and depersing you off the internet, because they've created the internet public square, where anyone can come as long as you have the correct political ideology. Once you don't have the correct political ideology, they yeet you off the platform. They yeet you somewhere else. That just seems their narrative now. Now, again, if you can just stay quiet and do, car repair videos on YouTube, you'll be probably fine and no one's going to bother you. And as a matter of fact, I like those videos. I promote them because they're very good. Because talking about politics and talking about this nonsense, corporate fascism, government fascism, it sort of weighs on you. And that's exactly what's going on here. You got the people like the potato just saying, well, Major League Baseball, those Jim Eagle laws in Georgia, they're bad. And so they move the All-Star game from a city, Atlanta, Georgia, that's mostly, for the most part, African American, or it's got a high population of African Americans, to Colorado, where they've got a low population of African Americans. No, that's not racist. No, those Jim Eagle laws in Georgia are racist. Wait a minute, wait. So we have the government now, not necessarily telling the corporations what to do, but going, hey, you should really do this. And they go, you know what, you're right, we'll go ahead and do that. And then also you got the corporations saying, well, we're just going to move out of this city because we don't like these new laws, even though the laws are similar in Colorado, if not more egregious, perhaps, worse than, they actually expanded voting in Georgia, but that wasn't good enough. Because you know why? Because Brian Kemp is, you guessed it, a Republican. And somehow they elected two goddamn socialist fucksticks in the Senate here in Georgia. But I digress. So we have government and corporations working hand in hand to, let's say, push public policy, to push a narrative. That narrative being false, obviously. But that's what's going on here. Do you like this, that your corporations are getting together on a Zoom call trying to push more fascism, more liberal ideology onto all of you? I would really love to boycott Coca-Cola right now because I drink Coke Zero a lot. But it's almost impossible to do that. Now, if I really tried, I could do it. But then what? But then again, I have to come back to this. We, as normal, sane people to the right of Pol Pot, Lenin, and Stalin, have got to start boycotting these terrible goddamn human beings and corporations. They're fucking awful. Why are we letting these corporations and people tell us what to do? Tell us what we can and can't say. Tell us what political language we can say, what pronouns we should use, where we can go to eat, what we put on our face, what we can and can't believe on certain subjects that, if I were to talk about, Mama Susan would kick my ass off YouTube like that. But I can't talk about it. I can't even question it. Why? Why can't I question it? Well, it's my house. I can do what I want. Yes, but you created, okay, and you run, let's say, the public square now. The internet digital public square. You run it now. You created it. You invite everyone in. And then you're like, nope, not you. Nope, not you. You can't question this. You can't say this. You can't say that. Why? Because they're running a narrative. They fucking hate your guts. These people right here see you as a dollar sign. They see you as a tax write-off. They don't care about you, but they do care about certain, dare I say, politically speaking, different sections of the country who, dare I say, are LGBTQ, Batman symbol, plus AIP. You know, you're okay. You're fine. But as long as you don't go conservative or libertarian, you know, you're fine. But once you go there, then we're going to yeet you off because you don't have the correct political language or the correct ideology, the correct thought process. We'll just boot your ass off. Go F yourself, right? Because like people like Mama Susan and Sanjay Patai, Zuck the Cuck, and that guy who's out in the desert starting a caliphate, Jack Dorsey, they see you as a dollar sign. You're a commodity. However, if you run afoul with them, they'll eat you off because they're like, well, we'll just have someone replace you that has the correct political ideology. What they're doing here right now is dividing the country up even further. It's already divided. We're divided. There is no doubt about it. Division is already here. It's done. There's no going back. But they're making it worse. There's already a fire, and they're throwing fuel oil on the fire now. They're throwing trash. They're throwing garbage. They're throwing wood. They're throwing more fuel. They're throwing gasoline tanks. They're throwing propane tanks into the fire already to make it worse. Why would they do that? Why would these a-holes out there in corporate la-la land want to make the country worse? Why don't they let us question anything or not have the correct ideology that go against their correct ideology? Why? Why is that? Why can't I question this? I know what you're going to say, and I've reiterated this before. It's my platform. They're not a platform. They're not a platform. They're publishers. They have editorial control over their digital square that they created, invited everyone in, and then say, no, you can't say this, you can't say that. They've done a bang-up job dividing this country. Now, the country has faults, but it's a good country. But ask yourself this question. And I know they don't want me to question this, but I'm going to question this. Why would they go out of their way? Okay? Why would they go out of their way to lose money on certain things, like a loss leader? Some companies will produce a product knowing that, for instance, Costco will do this. They have $1.50 hot dogs and, really cheap pizzas, and they're very good. Why would they sell them at a loss? Basically, it's to attract people in. And that's what they're doing here. These corporations see you as a commodity. Yeah, they'll lose money, but they'll attract more of the woke side of the political spectrum. And for whatever reason, they want that money, but they don't want your money. Don't give it to them. But that's very, very hard right now. It is extremely hard not to buy stuff from these corporations because they metastasized and they're such a big cancer on this country that they're woven its tendrils and tentacles all into society now. You can't watch TV without sort of one of these companies sort of tied to it or advertising on it. You just can't do it. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say something. I've been doing this for a while. I've been quietly protesting Hollywood, if you will, for the last year and a half, maybe even longer. I refuse right now. This is one of the things I'm doing. I refuse okay, to spend one fucking dime on any of their fucking movies anymore. But I want to watch them. So how do I do that? Well, there's certain things or certain places you can visit on the World Wide Web that you can find such entertainment items, if you will. And that's all I'll say about that. But trying to protest Hollywood in that sense is easy. Unfortunately, I live with family members. Okay, I've got a family. And my wife, she sort of is not on board with my sort of... She is conservative, but she still likes to watch those TV shows on CBS, NBC, ABC, etc. So, and she likes to watch Netflix. I have to bend there. I don't want to spend the money. But again, I'm not a freaking fascist like these assholes right here. So I'm not going to tell her what she can and can't do. I just don't. That's just stupid. I don't have time to, to make sure that, she's not watching Netflix or Hulu or whatever the TV show I don't like or I think is too woke. I'm not a dictator. I'm not a totalitarian piece of shit like these people here are. I'm just not going to. Unlike them, which they would more than happily do. I'm just not going to do that. I'll just quietly do it on my own as best as I can. Again, I'm not perfect. I would love to protest these assholes right here. Again, I just don't know how successful I can be. That's neither here nor there. Back to the question at hand of questioning everything. If you were to say question the CDC, Mama Susan will boot you. Jack Dorsey will put something on your saying, this is unverified and going against the narrative. Mark the Cuck, he would do the same thing. Sanjay Patai, he would boot you off Gmail if he could. If you question anything. And that should tell you a lot. The things he tell you you can't question, you should question. When the government says, just believe us, don't believe them. Question the government. Even when Donald Trump was president, I questioned him. There's a lot of things that he did that were good, and I was on board with. But there were some things, like the bump stock thing, that he was behind by banning. Why? That's stupid. But again, he was listening to the wrong people, obviously. But the minute that the potato and Camel Toe Harris and Mama Susan tells you you can't question anything, or we'll boot you off, just shut up and put the mask on, or shut up and social distance, shut up and you can't go here because there's a virus out there. The minute you can't question that, the minute that they start yeeting you off everywhere and telling you can't go here, you can't do this, you can't do that, the country's lost. And we're just about there. These people right here have way too much power in your life and in my life. Just like these big corporations have woven their tendrils into a society, and whatever you buy and wherever you go and whatever you watch on TV, whatever you hear on the radio, same thing with social media. They've woven too much, they have too much power, way too much power. So closing on here is, what is the solution? Well, other than quietly, I guess, protest certain companies and institutions, that's really all you can do for the most part. Because the mere minute that you actually get violent, such as BLM, they'll use it against you. They'll say, see, these conservatives out here, they're so violent and they're doing this. We need to stop them. But the people on the left side of the political spectrum who riot constantly over the last couple years in Portland trying to burn a courthouse down, that's fine. We accept that narrative. That's okay. That's the correct political ideology we can adhere to. But the minute you question that, the minute you stand up to these goofballs, they don't like that. These people are so drunk on power that they don't like it that when the plebes out there get a little restless on the right side of the political spectrum, or right side of Pol Pot, Lenin, and Stalin, they don't like that. You see, for the most part, people out there who are in the middle politically, they just they want to be left alone. They're not politically active, so to speak, so they buy up this entertainment. And I don't fault them for it. Sooner or later, boys and girls in Lazoland and people in the middle politically, you need to stand up. You need to push back. Peacefully, by the way, Mama Susan, Jack Dorsey, Mark DeCuck, and Sanjay Patai, and the Potato and Kamala Harris. You need to protest, but peacefully. You need to not buy their movies. You need to not purchase their products as best you can. I know it's hard. And believe me, I fail at this constantly every single day. But do the best you can. Don't give them your money. Save your money. Go to some local business that may even be politically left. Buy their products. Don't buy their big business products. Go to small hardware stores if you can find one and purchase stuff from them. Do the best you can. But always, in closing, question everything. Don't let them yeet you. If they do, go to Odyssey or Odyssey Library or BitChute. Don't if they yeet you, if they boot you off. But always question their motives. These people do not have your best interests at heart. Well, again, if you adhere to their leftist ideology, then you're fine. If you don't, you're not fine. And in closing, question everything and anything you see, especially when it's come out of these pieces of human trash's mouth.